So hi, welcome to Woman at the Wheel, my YouTube channel. I'm Sue. You're looking out over the hood of my 1996 Ford F-350 this morning. Actually, this afternoon is just getting ready to flip over to noon. And this is my second week of using this old truck. And this is going considerably better than the first week did. So. And I'm also getting used to the new camera, which this is my second week with this new camera. And it's also working a little better than I thought it would. Seems like it's moving around quite a bit right now, but I'm on a pretty rough road. But I do have it tied down, hopefully enough keep it from bobbing around too bad. So where am I? Does anybody know? Actually, I'm on Interstate 10 heading westbound toward El Paso. I'll give you a mile marker here in a second. Okay, I'm just passing mile marker 385. So I'm about 360 miles east of El Paso, I think. Somewhere along that range. I'm going to be turning off up here in about 16 miles, getting off the interstate and getting on some little highway. And I'm going to cut across going northwest up to Odessa, which is where I'm delivering the trailer that I'm pulling today. I should be there around 2:30ish, somewhere thereabouts. Well, like I said, it just turned noon just now. I already stopped and had my lunch break. I'm really enjoying not being in an all-fired hurry and not having super heavy loads to deal with. So the trailer that I'm pulling today is what they call a pipe trailer. It's basically, it looks like a 40-footer to me, 36 or 40. It's pretty long. It's got kind of tubing laid across it, and it's got little stops at the end of each piece of tubing, but there's not a flat deck on the trailer because it's made for just hauling pipe, so it doesn't need a deck on it. It's a gooseneck. This is the first pipe trailer I've ever pulled. It's pulling great. It's very lightweight. It doesn't seem, it just doesn't seem all that heavy at all. It doesn't even have dually tires on the axles. So it's not like a heavy duty trailer. It's more of a light use trailer. It's just long. So this is pretty awesome. I delivered the trailer yesterday, or today, that I picked up yesterday at Fort Worth. I delivered it down to Atacosta, Texas, which is about 15 miles south of San Antonio on I-35. So I delivered that trailer there, and that was just a little car hauler. It was no big deal. It's like 22-foot car hauler, bumper pull. So I delivered it first thing this morning as soon as they opened their gates. And then I picked up this trailer at the same dealer, and now I'm transferring this up to a different dealer, same company but different dealership. And I really love doing these little dealer to dealer swaps. They're usually a single trailer. It's usually a small trailer or a lightweight trailer, and they're usually not in an all-fired hurry to get them. So, it's usually a one-day deal. Just pick it up and go. Now yesterday, my broker guy thought that they wanted this a lot faster than I was told they wanted it. So he was worried that they weren't going to accept it because I didn't get it there until this morning. So I knew I wasn't going to get there yesterday because I just wasn't moving that fast. So I called the guy at the dealership and he's like, yeah, tomorrow morning's fine, no worries. So I let my broker guy know that he was relieved. So everybody was happy. I was happy as to ball because then I knew that I could deliver the trailer and not be in hot water. I don't like getting myself in trouble. And I'm not sure if something fell by the wayside as far as, in translation when they booked me on that load. But I don't remember anybody saying anything about it was a rush job. So maybe they did. I don't know. I just don't recall it. Anyway, it turned out it's a moot point anyway. We don't have to worry about it. And especially now we don't have to worry about it because it's a done deal. Everything's delivered. Another 11 miles to go on I-10. I'll be glad to get off the interstate. I'm going to try and buy some fuel somewhere if I can find it cheap enough. I saw it yesterday for 420s over in Decatur, Texas, and I wish I'd stopped and topped everything off there. I didn't because I had the trailer on, I was on my way to pick up a trailer. I should have stopped. Didn't even have that excuse. Actually, I stopped somewhere else and fueled up before though. I'd forgotten about that. So evidently I didn't have room to add any more fuel. That would be about the only explanation for why I would pass by fuel that was that cheap. So I paid $4.33 in Lawton to fill up my auxiliary tank the other day. It was $4.20 something in Decatur yesterday, $4.24 I think, so that would have been a dime cheaper. And everywhere else, the cheapest I've seen is $4.49, which is what I paid yesterday, thinking that I needed to put some on just in case. And I think I did that at Albert, Texas, up on 287. So I'm hoping to run across some cheaper fuel today, getting off the interstate and off the beaten path. Maybe I'll find something. Who knows? I don't have a whole lot left in my tank right now. I'm going to have to pull over here once I get off the interstate and transfer some fuel down if I don't find a place to buy any. So I've already transferred some this morning, transferred some down to both tanks, about probably 30-ish gallons, 35 maybe. It's kind of hard to tell because I don't have a gauge on, how many gallons I'm actually pumping over. I have to just kind of guess at it. And I had a little bit left in both tanks. So I'm going to say maybe 30 to 35 gallons is what I put down. So I should have somewhere around 50, 60 gallons left in my auxiliary tank. Now, it's supposed to be a 100-gallon tank, but I think it only actually holds something like 85 or 90 gallons. There's some head space there when you're filling it up. I don't top it off. I just fill it until the pump quits. And so that means there's considerably less. But that's okay. As long as I keep tabs on it, then it's all good. As long as I know roughly how much I've got in there. So I should get 2 more complete fill-ups, basically, out of the auxiliary tank for filling both of these small tanks that are on the truck. I did run the front tank down pretty low today. I didn't leave much in there. I kind of spaced out and forgot to flip it over. Which is not a good thing to do because you don't want to run a diesel dry. So at the last minute, I realized I needed to switch to my rear tank. So I did it in time, so I didn't do any damage. Didn't starve the engine at all. I'm still 2 hours and 14 minutes out from my delivery this afternoon, is what this thing is saying, the GPS. And I got 6 more miles to go to my exit. Exit 368. Try and see how much their fuel is there. It's real hard to tell. I think it's 440 something, maybe, probably 449. But I am not 100% sure. It might be 444. Yeah, 444. That's okay. I don't feel like paying more than what I've already got on here that I've paid for that. I already did that once and I don't want to do that again. It's not necessary. So we are seriously into West Texas now, Southwest Texas actually. I-10 runs across the southern tier, and we're out of the hill country, very much out of that. This is flat mesquite country out in here. This is the Texas I like. I prefer this part of Texas. This on up to Odessa. It's flat, it's open ground, it's pretty arid. Pretty desert-like. Some people don't like this kind of climate, but I really do. I like this a lot. I prefer it over all the other parts of Texas, actually. Even though some of them are kind of greener and lusher and prettier in a way, but this has just got that western look that I like. But I'm a Westerner too. Okay, 2.5 miles and we will be off this interstate, which is good because the interstate is so boring to me. It just wears me out. I guess this shouldn't seem too boring because I don't think I've actually run this stretch of I-10 before. I think I've connected into it off of I-30 or maybe I-20, but I don't think I've ever just run it over on I-10. So this is new to me. But still, it's interstate, so I'm kind of jaded about interstate views. I guess is a good way to put it. Okay, here's my exit coming up. Ozona, Texas. Ozona, that's the next town up here. running across the town with fuel. I guess I'll have to stop and pump some over. I got about a quarter of a tank, a little more than a quarter of a tank left in here. Looks like I'm gonna miss this town altogether. I may not hit another town for a while. Looks pretty open and desolate out here. It's pretty empty. Loop 466. This has got to lead over to a highway that cuts up northwest. Up here somewhere. Probably Ozona would be my guess. If I had to guess, and I kind of do because I'm not sure. Oh, I bet I can find fuel up here. I may not find it cheap, but I bet I can find it. They've got a Dairy Queen, so I bet they got fuel too. If nothing else, I can stop in town and pump over the fuel. One of the things I don't want to do in this part of the country, because I'm so close to the border, I don't want to just stop out in the middle of some piece of highway somewhere with nobody around and be pumping my fuel, because you never know who's hanging around out in the mesquite. You know, I don't need to get jumped and get my truck stolen or whatever. So if I don't find a place to buy fuel, I'll stop up here in town somewhere and pump this over. So I try to have a little bit of sense when I'm, out and about by myself. Be a little cautious. Like an old town. I guess it's very old. Nice big old shade trees they got. That trailer's noisy back there, clanking around. Turn north on 163, which is going to be at this intersection. All right. My regular GPS is trying to route me back to Interstate 10, of course. It always wants me on the interstate. It doesn't seem to care what I want. It's a pretty neat little town. Okay, 2.4 miles I go left on Texas 137. Okay, that's what I thought. I was thinking there was a 37 involved there somewhere when I looked at the map last night. So I'm on the right track. We have to stop on the side of the road here while I'm close to town. No, I don't think I'm pulling there. Just looking for a place to stop and fuel up. I just need to kind of get off the road a little bit. So I'm not a hazard doing it. Okay, it looks like up here there's a really wide shoulder. I'll probably stop up here and do it. Still close enough to town. I don't think anybody's gonna mess with me. I just don't want to be out somewhere on the highway alone doing this with nobody around. Okay, this looks like a great place for it actually. Get as far off the road as I can get. I'm gonna be here a minute. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and shut this down and put my fuel in and I'll be back. Okay, so I got my fuel pumped over. Took a few minutes, but got it done, so I'll be turning on to Highway 137 up here. This puts us on a northwesterly tack. We had been heading west on I-10. Came through Zona there, that little town. And now we're kind of shooting off to the northwest. Which is exactly where we want to go, because I need to go northwest to get to Odessa. And I'm so happy to be off the interstate. Cannot tell you how happy I am about that. Okay, so both of my little tanks on this truck are full, so I've got 38 gallons of fuel. And I may have to stop one more time before I get there. I don't know. It depends on how well we're doing. There's been a lot of hills on this trip, but I don't have to drive 75 up this road necessarily. That is the speed limit, but I probably won't drive that fast. Don't need to. So I'm 2 hours out from delivery. With the time it is right now, and then the time I need to get there, I should be delivering about 2:30. That's fine. Even if it's a little later than that, it doesn't matter. I don't have anything else scheduled today, so I'm not really too worried about it. So 16 miles to 137, so I just follow 137. Basically. Of course, the GPS is trying to route me differently. It usually does. over here and check if I can get it to work. Sometimes phones don't do what you want them to do. Have you noticed that? Kind of annoying. Okay, so I've got something else here. What have I got? Big text Odessa to Amarillo for tomorrow if you want it. Yes, sir. So I do have another job, and it's from Odessa to Amarillo. Awesome. One of my favorite places to knock around, West Texas and the Texas Panhandle. I can do this all week long. I may get to do this all week long. I like this out here. This is mesquite country. Flat as a pancake. Lots and lots of mesquite. A little bit of scrub oak, looks like. Maybe some kind of cedars, but mostly mesquite. Sure, take 137 all the way up. basically what West Central Texas looks like. Flat, lots of mesquite. It's kind of it. I'm actually enjoying this a lot because I'm not going very far from home. It's not like I'm clear across the country, 12 hours away somewhere. Well, from Odessa, or from Amarillo for that matter. I mean, I'm like, I don't know, 6 hours from home. That's all right by me. If I can pick this thing up today, I can get up towards Amarillo, get a good start on it, deliver it in the morning, maybe get another load or two in this week, and stay all in the same region. That's pretty awesome. I'm pretty psyched about this. Yeah, pleases me. I'll be back when we get closer over here to Odessa, show you what that part of the country looks like. See you in a bit. Okay, so I'm kind of getting closer to Odessa, but what's happened is I suddenly got out of mesquite country and into, looks like pecan farms. I think these are pecan trees up here on the right. There were a couple of good-sized groves back there. And I'm not swearing that they're pecan trees, but that's what they look like to me from here. I think they are. So somebody's grown pecans in here in a big way. As you can see, it's still pretty flat territory around, but yeah, those are, I think those are pecans. There's some kind of nut tree. I'm not 100% what kind, but those are nut trees. The way they're planted in there, that's an actual grove. So I thought that was kind of an interesting development. I'm about 52 miles away from getting this delivered. Speaking of interesting developments, in the time that I was driving without videoing, I got a text from my broker saying that they've got a trailer up here that's going to Amarillo in the morning. Asking me if I want that job. I'm like, well, yeah. Heck yeah. And I can't remember if I knew about that before I shut the camera down the last time or not. And I did ask him if it's going to be ready to go today, and he said he didn't know. It might be ready late this afternoon, but it will be ready for sure tomorrow. So what I'll do, I'm delivering just across the road from there, this one, so I'll just run over by there and stop in and see them and ask them when do they want me to come get it. And if it's in the morning, I guess I'll go find a place to stay in Odessa, which is easier said than done, or used to be. I don't know, maybe it's not as busy now as it once was. I don't know. I do know the last time I had to spend the night in Odessa, it cost me like $160, and that's been 10 years ago. It was the most expensive hotel room I ever had in my life, and it was cold. It was in the wintertime. I didn't have a whole lot of choice. So I'm kind of hoping that they'll have this thing ready to go earlier, and I can just go in there and get it and leave town and head for Amarillo. So I can find some place to stay between here and Amarillo. Probably not going to be a problem. There's little towns between here and there, and most of these little towns have little motels. Kind of like the place I stayed at last night. It was just a small town motel. Nothing fancy. It was reasonably clean, and the price was right. It was under $70 and it had no bugs. So it didn't even smell bad, amazingly enough, because a lot of them do. Now these fields out beside me with the green stuff, that's cotton out there. It's kind of weird to see all these empty fields. I don't know if I missed a harvest or what the deal is. Or if they're just letting it lay fallow for the season, I don't know. A little hard to tell, but there was cotton in there at one time, because I can see the cotton in the dirt by the road. But that just looks like grass out there. There's cotton. So there's different stuff planted in here. Those aren't very big fields of cotton, though. But here's another one. So this is what cotton looks like when it's growing. Just kind of an interesting area. The gas and oil is all around, and then they've got wind energy also. Some kind of pipeline construction going on here. This is still a pretty busy area. Yeah, I may not like having to find a motel room over here tonight. I don't know, we'll see. If it's like it used to be, it might be an exercise in futility. There may just not be anything. This is very typical of West Texas, this terrain. flat, mesquite, lots of oil wells, gas wells. And I would really love to have the time to kick around out here and look for arrowheads, because I bet there are some. But I'm on the clock. Can't be doing that right now. Pretty good clouds going. It doesn't look like rain clouds, but there's a lot of clouds nonetheless. I guess it rained last night in Barlow. Sounds like they could have used more rain, but at least they got some. It was getting pretty dry there. This may turn out to be a pretty good week, hay-wise. See, today's Tuesday, so tomorrow's Wednesday. That still leaves me 2 days. Grab a couple more jobs once I get done in Amarillo, so we'll see how it goes. Might do a darn good week. It's already looking pretty good. But these are just the kind of little jobs I really like. Not too awful far from home. Not exclusively centered on I-35 and Dallas and Houston. In fact, anywhere I can avoid those is a good deal. Kind of over Louisiana. It's a long way down there. And it's miserable if you've got to do anything outside. I mean, it's really extremely miserable. Okay, 3.4 miles up here. I'm going to turn on 158. So I'm only about 40 miles out now. Alright, I think I'll shut it down again until we get close to town, and I'll show you what Odessa looks like. See you in a bit.
Sister and her kids have to.
So I just turned this back on because there's a giant dust devil up here off to the left of the road. That just crossed the road and it was kicking up a bunch of dirt. That's what that is. That's a dust devil. It's a pretty good one. I've seen several of them out here. But I wanted to give you a look at that one. I wish I'd have caught it coming across the road. I just turned off the camera like 30 seconds too soon. Which kind of bites. Ooh, that's a bright yellow grill guard. It was highly visible. If that was their intention or not, who knows, but 2:02, so we're pretty much on schedule. More or less. Pretty fancy road work they're doing here, putting big old shoulders on this. Okay, 20 more miles will get us to I-20. We'll get on I-20 and go the rest of the way in, so it won't be too long that we have to stay on it. Losing my microphone here. That bus back there said Buena Vista on it. Made me think about Buena Vista, Colorado. I'm a native of Colorado. Spent most of my life there. And when I was a little kid, everybody called Buena Vista Buena Vista. Now it's changed, and everybody's calling it Buena Vista. So I just think it's kind of funny. You know, different generations have their different things. I guess they figure they've got to say it, you know, the way a Spaniard would or whatever, a native Spanish speaker maybe. But to me, it'll always be Buena Vista. I mean, that's just what the town's name was. Still is, as far as I can tell. This is why I try to pay attention when I'm going to new places and figure out how they pronounce their words. So it's not always pronounced the way you think it will be. You know, there's a lot of towns with names like that read one way phonetically, but they're pronounced completely differently. I don't even remember what the name of the town was, but it was one in Pennsylvania where I had to pick up something a while back. Picked up a stack there, I think, of aluminum trailers. And the town had a really weird name. It looked like it could be pronounced two different ways phonetically. And it turned out that the way it was pronounced was nothing like the two ways it looked like it could be pronounced phonetically. So this is a rabbit patch out in here. Oil and gas wells everywhere. There are actually places around here, around Midland and Odessa, where there's an oil well every 600 feet. That's as close together as they're allowed to drill them. Just lots and lots of oil in this country. In spite of what some people would have you to believe. don't expect to buy diesel over here because I think Odessa is going to be, and Midland are going to be higher priced on it. They're usually higher priced on everything. Fuel, motels, you name it. Coffee, whatever. Such is life in a boom town. I understand a little bit about boom towns because I've lived in boom towns a long time, a lot of my life. One of them was the town I worked in Colorado called Craig. It was definitely a boom town. It was on a boom bust cycle. I'm not sure what's going to happen to them now with the closing down all the coal mines and everything. The power plants, I'm not sure about all that. I think it's a little crazy. If you look around out here, see all these pump jacks? This is what I'm talking about. Those things are about 600 feet apart, and they've drilled as close together as they can to get down into that oil deposit. That's kind of common around this area. High concentration of drilled wells. Midland 16, I-20's 13. So this is an interesting way to me to come up here. I've never been up from that part of the country before. Never come up through here. It looks about like I imagined it would. It's, flat with mesquite. Kind of how a lot of this territory looks. Kind of came through an area back there was all farms, but we've got back out of that and back into the mesquite now. There's still a lot of oil field traffic. Pretty much what I expected to see. 7 more miles. I guess I'll just keep this running. Might as well. Getting close enough now. 9 miles will be in Midland. Midland and Odessa are kind of like twin cities, I guess. You know, on the west side you got Odessa, on the east side you got Midland. And they're only maybe 10 miles apart, something like that. Maybe 20. No, probably 10. Blowing pretty good out here. Awesome. It's not really awesome, it's aggravating as hell. Going along perfectly fine and this guy has to pull over in the fast lane and block it. So it's pretty much not awesome. Some moron. Sorry. Some people just drive like dingbats. Totally oblivious to anybody else being on the road, you know. Most of us try and get the hell over out of people's way. But some people just think they gotta be getting all up in your way. They don't care. And it shows. Still hanging back there in the fast lane. I can't believe that. What a dude. I don't know why I can't believe it. I mean, I've been driving long enough to know that people drive like jerks. A lot of them. And that's one of them back there. So I don't know why I'm feeling the slightest bit surprised by it. Shouldn't. Should probably rather expect it. Be surprised if people don't do stuff like that. Crazy driving going on here, folks. Four more miles to the interstate, which the interstate will be just as bad. It'll be probably worse. Usually is. Now, I don't know what the situation is as far as construction over here. Last time I was here, several months ago, they had the exit torn up that the business is that I'm delivering to. So I had to go kind of around the opposite end, which was kind of a pain in the butt. Not sure what I'll find today. Guess I'll find out here in about 20 miles or so. I can see it. I-20, I mean. I'm hoping my exit over at Odessa will be open. We'll see. It just complicates things if it's not. And that's about what I figured. Fuel's sky high here. 479. So they're actually higher here than they have been anywhere else that I've been lately. I'm not surprised. Especially at these big truck stops, they kind of gouge anyway. Well, they don't kind of gouge, they gouge the hell out of people. 485. Seriously? So this is a madhouse they call Midland. And it is a madhouse. Traffic is horrendous. At least partially because of the construction they've been having going on here for the last year or two. But just in general, there's just so much traffic. We may sit here all damn day from the looks of things. Current weight. Make it through this light or not. Maybe. It's looking promising. We'll see. This guy get off his brakes. We might make it. Go, people, go. Come on, guy. What the hell is the hold up here? Evidently we got somebody really freaking slow up here blocking everybody, which is always awesome. Rough enough? Grief. Butt ton of new housing going up, which apparently they need here. This is not looking good for me getting a place to stay tonight that's reasonable. Maybe for getting a place at all. So hopefully this trailer will be ready to go. Maybe I can talk them into it. Starbucks. I can't go to Starbucks today. I went yesterday and I ate too many points at Starbucks. So none of that business today. roads are really crappy, really bad. This is a good thing they're working on this. I can't tell what they've been doing though since I've been here last. If they're, looks like they might be adding lanes. This is pretty much as I expected it, expensive and crowded. It's kind of like the identity of Midland, Odessa, in my mind anyway. They may not want people to see them that way, but that's how it appears to me. So if I can sweet talk them into releasing that trailer early so I don't have to spend the night here, that would be a big plus. Got to get this one delivered first though. I better finish this job before I try and start the next one, I guess. Crazy when the guy on the service road beside you is running faster than you are on the interstate. Something about that just looks so weird to me. Okay, 2.2 miles. Hopefully I can get over on that service road. I don't know. This is pretty torn up. Not I'm going to have to go down to the far end and work my way back, which is no easy task either when you got a long trailer on, making a turn down there. So I don't know about this, folks. I don't know if I can get over there or not. I can go look. If I can't get on the road I need to get on, I can get back on the interstate. Oh boy. Kind of a crapshoot. Yeah, this looks like it's pretty much just as torn up as it was last time. But I might be able to get across there. I'll try it anyway. We'll see. Either it'll be open or it won't. Maybe okay. Find out. If I can pull this off, it'll be a lot better than going in the other end. Looks like we may have it here, so I think I can do this. is, I just got over on the service road. God, this road is beat to hell. This is terrible. It's a lot rougher than it looks, put it that way. Armadillo Hotel. Yeah, this ain't looking good. I hope I don't have to try and stay here tonight. A lot of these hotels around here are basically bought out by the oil companies, so trying to get a room is next to impossible for a lot of them. More miles of this rough crap. I think it might be smoother driving through a plowed field. I'm only halfway kidding. Ow, gosh. Really bad. Really, really bad. Oh, for God's sake. Hello. Okay, so this trailer over here to our left, pan over here a little bit so you can see it. That's what I just brought up here. It's a pipe trailer. It doesn't have any wood deck on the top. It's just pieces of iron for the pipe to lay across. So we are done with this. Now I need to run back up to the next one and see when that trailer they're sending out is going to be ready. They're just back up the road here a ways. I'm going to go ahead and go do that. I'd be really, really happy if it's ready to go. And I can just get it and get out of here. Okay. And I'll do my paperwork up here in their yard, I guess, while I'm sitting here talking to them. I'm either going to wait on it or they'll tell me to get lost until the morning. So we'll see. We'll see which. I'm hoping with me showing up that'll convince them that it's probably a nice thing to do to just get it ready to go and let me have it. But, you know, little honey gets stuff done better than going in and bitching about it, so I'll just go ahead and ask them real nice. Honey, not vinegar. people do try pretty hard to be accommodating, so. Let's see about these guys. I do not know where their driveway's at. Guess maybe it's up here in the front. They got a nice big yard here. There we go. Okay, so I'll just go run in here and see what they can do.